and there's this very famous narrative of stress management. Everyone is just talking about stress, and it's being discussed from schools to colleges to workplace, at home. In fact, many a times you would have observed that if you go to the doctor with some kind of issue, the diagnosis, one part is that you're having stress, and because of this condition is worsening. So stress has become like a very common household word. In fact, even small kids are using this word, stress. And if we were to go to the root words of stress and look at, where is the stress coming from? Ultimately, it points to contraction. The etymology suggests that the root word, I don't remember right now. The word stress comes from the root word, which points towards contraction. There's a kind of strain, tension. So that's where the word stress is coming from. But we'll be discussing what stress psychologically and physiologically, and then we'll see and bring our this non-dual understanding and see what happens to stress then. So, I mean, we all know that it's been millions of years that evolution has been happening in, uh, our species, Homo sapiens, or, humans. And what people say is that last 10,000 years or so, we have seen this evolution going towards modernization, right? I mean, not even 10,000 years, it would be some few thousand years, but most of the people started seeing and living in safe spaces where tigers won't enter, where snakes won't come, right? Off late in last few hundred years. Before that, most of us were tribes living in forests, and that's why for many, many years, our genetics and our DNA has been designed to protect ourselves, to survive in the wild. So the mechanism was that the moment any human being encounters a tiger, because we would go to hunt in the forest or we are walking in the forest, the moment we will see any danger, there was this mechanism built in our body, and it is still there, of course, but we got trained to survive. So I'm sure most of us would have heard about flight or fight. Flight means you run away, you see a danger and you run away. And if you don't want to run away, you will fight with a spear or something. So what really happens, when you have to run away or you have to fight? You need energy, right? We need energy. And for that, it's a simple mechanism that the heart would get an instruction from brain that I need more blood. So the blood pressure increases, the blood goes, and how would it go? How would the energy reach us? Through glucose. So the sugar would raise, right? And then we would use it either to run through our legs or fight. But fast forward in 2026, there's no tiger, there's no danger as such of forests. But because pretty much our nervous system is trained whenever it senses any fear to behave like this, even an email from colleague, or if there are some high stakes situations, our body very much shifts towards the flight or fight. But then we are sitting in office, we can't do either. And that's when it continues for some time, the stress builds up. And they say that if it's a long term stress, it becomes chronic. Body gets accustomed to taking stress. So it's nothing but a perceived threat through which there is some response within our body and our mind, and then it becomes like a loop. So thought kind of feeds into the hormones or the changes in the nervous system, the emotions, the feelings, and without awareness, it again feeds back to the thought. So, thought feeds the body, and the body feeds the thought, and this goes on and on. So, pretty much, stress can be defined in this way. Right? However, we are not here to, manage the stress as we discuss. Stress is just like something happening to our body mind, and we just wanted to decode this. Now, if we were to give away and throw away this word called stress, because this is more like a modern day narrative, a few 100 years back, this word wasn't even there. So, if we throw away stress and all the heaviness of stress, let's see what remains. One of the biggest problem is that we are taking ourselves very seriously, and all the words which are introduced to us by the society even more seriously. So there's a lot of heaviness which has come with these words, and then this whole illusory heaviness we are carrying and using it in every, almost every conversation. And then there's this whole layer of stress management. So people would talk about, can I manage my stress? But the question is, why would you like to manage your stress? You manage something which is very valuable. And stress is something which is probably making us unproductive. It is making us, and but it also has a signal to survive. So there's some benefit as well. However, today we'll be looking at, through awareness and as awareness, what can happen to stress when the when our knowing permeates into the stress and looks at it from a very minute lens, you know not really focusing on it but letting it be. So that's what we are trying, we'll be doing in our self inquiry. Couple of more things. Ultimately, as we had started, all the knowledge is in probably two or three sentences. Whether we pick up Ashtavakra Gita, whether we pick up Yoga Sutras, whether we pick up any other book, right? Non-duality, any book from the Vedas, Upanishad. Ultimately, it's just one or two sentences, which is that emptiness and the fullness is one. And at the same time, the knowing emptiness is free from whatever is the contents which is going on, right? So our thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, they can do whatever they want, they can communicate whatever they want as per the situation, but the knowing which knows all of them is always free and liberated, and yet one with all of this. So in a way, we don't have to chase liberation, we don't have to go somewhere to find something, it's right here. But only when this shifts happen within us, that we can see that we are already unbounded, free, untouched by whatever is going inside our mind, whatever is going inside our body. That's when the liberation comes, right? And this liberation doesn't mean that we won't have pain, we won't have thoughts which are, not bothering us, right? There won't be any, so-called negative emotions. All of them might be there, but our identity from them completely, loses its essence, and it just kind of relaxes back from the foreground. It finds itself in the background, and background pervades into foreground. Right? So it's something like that, and very difficult to be told in words, but to be experienced in our direct, you know experience. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get into the self inquiry. We all know a couple of important points of self inquiry. We have to refer to our direct experience. It's not about cooking up stories through the mind. While mind might do that, we don't have to employ it. Okay, let it bring information. We don't have to take it, and we are not trying to resist or control our mind, right? But we look at the direct experience whenever something is told in the self inquiry. Second, if we get some insights, those insights are like reference point for us. These are like small glimpses of the expansion. So stay there. If you get any kind of opening, any kind of entry into the openness of the being, okay, cool. So let's start our self inquiry. We're not trying to meditate. At this point of time, we can even throw away these two words called self inquiry. Can we just become blank? In fact, we are blank at the essential level. Can we access it right now? Let the beliefs, thoughts, feelings, all of it be there. But can we be that blank space in which all of this is present? Imagine if your mind is like a river in which there are fishes, there are stones, crocodiles. Instead of swimming in the river, you sit back on a big rock and just watch it. Let's close our eyes if it's helpful and just sit in that rock and see if you're affected by whatever is going on in the river. The rock is solid, it's huge. The spaciousness of our being is unaffected by the contents of our mind. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. See for yourself. Right now, there are many sensations in your body. Many thoughts in your mind. Possibly some feelings in your body. Just be aware, know that all of these things are present right now. But also know that there is an ability to know that there is sensation, there is feelings. Let's do this experiment. Right now, if you go and just observe the bottom of your feet kept on the ground, or you may be sitting cross legged, become aware of the bottom of your feet. Now, this feet, you've become aware. You might call it my feet. However, just see in your direct experience, as you become aware of the sensation, what is the process through which you become aware? It's not about using the mind or referring to the past. Go to the direct experience of knowing your feet. You sense that there is a feet in your direct experience. If you look right now, you have the ability to sense, and the sensing is nothing but knowing. In that knowing, a sensation called my feet appears. Now let go of the feet and just stay with this knowing. And see what happens when you just stay with the knowing. Do you feel subtle or you feel gross? Now be this field of knowing, this in between the thoughts, feelings, sensations might try to come and pull, but you know that you're in the river, but on a rock, solid, big, stone, huge, on which you're just sitting. The rock is one with the river, and yet you're not affected by it. Can you see right now that you're free from whatever is going inside your body, your mind? Could be pain, could be disease, or thoughts. You're unaffected by any of them. And when I say you, is that the body? Go to the direct experience. Is that your mind? Or is it something which starts prior to both of them? Anchoring ourselves as what is there prior to body and mind is the spaciousness which never changes. It is the most dependable space for us. This is a true home because what's in the mind changes, our thoughts changes, our feelings, our sensations changes, our body changes. So can something which changes give us this absolute home like feeling and stability? Can we depend on our thoughts to be peaceful and happy. Go to your direct experience and see. Do we even have the ability to only produce positive thoughts? So all we do is we just sit in this knowing and let mind produce whatever it wants to. Let body bring different kinds of emotions, happy, sad. Just this knowing is enough. This spaciousness is enough. Now let's do a thought experiment. Bring one scenario of your life right now which you're most stressed about. Most stressed about. Let the thoughts come in as you think about this possibility. Now, if you see in this very moment, not the past, not the future, not even a millisecond before, not even a millisecond afterwards, in this moment, this story is irrelevant because it's not happening. Can you see right now, in this moment, whatever the thoughts which have come and arrived as we thought about that situation would be either past or future? And let's say with these stories, if there are some kind of physiological changes, your heart is beating a little faster, or the nervous system is feeling a little clenched, let all be there. We're not trying to escape from anything. We're not trying to bypass anything. Let all of that be there. And while all of that is there, see that you, the one who knows the feeling, the thought, is far greater than anything which is showing up in your mind and your body. Stay as the spaciousness, stay as the knowing in which thoughts, feelings, sensations appear. Now, we may not find all the traces of stress right now as we are doing this inquiry with our eyes closed, but in the real life situation, we see that certain patterns within us changes the biochemistry There's a flip inside our brain, and that is where it goes into the fight or flight mode. But this is all with an assumption that there is a person which gets into stress, and stress is bad, and we have to manage it. What if we let go of all of these borrowed beliefs from the society? What if we stay as this expanded knowing and allowing thoughts, sensation, fast breath to come and go? There's a shift in our identity. It's like a kiss of grace, where even though we have the ability to think, feel, analyze, but there is this whole fundamental shift in our being from where our belongingness is this vast, spacious knowing in which anything can come and go. And whatever comes and goes is temporary. As you've closed your eyes and resting in this awareness and being, see for yourselves. Is this knowing limited? Was this knowing not there 2 years back or 20 years back? Even when you were 2 year old, you might not have the memory, or 6 months old. If you were hungry, you cried. And the very fact that you knew that there was a sensation called hunger in your stomach was through this knowing. Just rest as this knowing, the true home. As we stay as knowing the expanded spaciousness, our essence, let's remember that there's something called as stress, which is a concept, which is for real, that our nervous system shift into fight or flight or whatever. But there's also this idea, there's this resistance to the stress. There's this pushing away, as if we want it and at the same time we don't want it. If we let this whole control drop, and in this expanded field of spaciousness, we allow whatever shows up, whether they are thoughts, anxiety, fear. However, This knowing never gets entangled or resists. So, what is the root cause of stress? The root cause is the belief in this rock solid self, the one who which holds on to the stress, which totally believes that whatever is happening in the body is happening to me. Once this me is investigated and the essence of the body becomes more transparent, all the emotions, all the feelings, all the thoughts, they appear and disappear, they come and go. Doesn't mean we won't have fear, we won't have anxiety showing up, we won't have anything else. But all of these would be passing birds or passing clouds in this blue sky. So while we all have learned and spoken and used this term called stress management, now is the time to actually just rest in and as this knowing and observe and see what happens. I hope this experiment in our real lives would be helpful to us. And with that, gently we can open our eyes. Let go of all the concepts, including this idea of self inquiry, stress observation. Let, let go of everything and just stay as this spaciousness. Okay, great. Thank you so much. This was the inquiry on stress management, or rather, stress observation. This word, stress management or stress. I mean, we can see that how this has gone so much into the modern society, right? And like these, there are many other words, many other concepts. So what really happens is our mind tries to make a shortcut, as I was talking about, that if you go to a doctor and if he or she is not able to diagnose, one of the area where his or her mind goes is probably this person is going through stress, and you know the questions are asked that, oh, you know you're not getting sleep, maybe you have stress, you're clenching your teeth, maybe you have stress, right? So once we let go of the idea of the stress and go to the direct experience of stress, that's where this possibility is there. Okay, thank you so much. In case there's anything you want to share, feel free to unmute, the people on Zoom, people on Substack. If you have anything to share, please type in the chat. Or if you want to come, I can try to bring you on the screen. Okay. Let me just. Cool. In that case, have a lovely weekend, rest of the weekend ahead, and we'll meet next week. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a restful evening, night, or afternoon. Hello, Ashwini. Yeah, hello, Maji. Hi. Yes, you have something to share? Hello. Okay. Can't hear. No worries. Thank you so much. You have a great day ahead. Thank you.